Good morning. I'd like to start this morning by welcoming everyone here on behalf of the development team of Roadside Development, the Bernstein Companies, and Dantes Partners. And I'd particularly like to mention my partners, Richard Lake and Todd Weiss, Todd and Richard, Buwa Binitie of Dantes Partners, mastermind behind the plan. And our team member, Susan Linsky, who is our outstanding community and government relations representative. We had the opportunity during the planning of the City Market project to attend many, many community meetings. And at every meeting, somebody would raise their hand and they'd say, "What about affordable housing?" And I couldn't help notice that the people who were asking about affordable housing were, for the most part, longtime residents of Shaw. And they were very supportive of what we were doing and very supportive of the changes coming to their community, but at the same time, they were afraid of what's going to happen to me. All this new development comes and property values go up. What's going to happen to me? So we decided that affordable housing was a very, very important part of this project. And we tried to come up with a plan that would help serve the longtime residents of Shaw primarily. And so we met with Emmaus Senior Services. They had an office over on 9th Street, and they explained to us their constituents and how they ranged in income from very low to moderately low, and that if we were going to build an affordable project that would serve them, we needed to be very creative. They actually made a suggestion. Why don't you build a building that qualifies for vouchers? And if a long-term resident of Shaw loses their housing because their building goes to market, as has happened, they would qualify for a voucher and could come and live in your building. And we thought about that, and we thought, if we did that, we would wind up with a building that would not serve just a very narrowly defined population, but it would become a building that would be a widely mixed income. And hopefully it would be a building with a lot of longtime Shaw residents, former Shaw residents, and that's what we did. And so this building represents the fulfillment of that promise that we made to the community. And it took an awful lot of people to make this happen. The community itself was always very supportive, and that was critical in the entire project. The A&C commissioners, I see Alex Padro here, who was a very staunch supporter of the plan. Our council member, Jack Evans, was a staunch supporter. It was a very complicated project to get done. And in working with the city, we were very, very fortunate to have a legal team from Ballard Spahr, a fellow named Joe Fanone, and Michael Hodge. Michael Hodge had been a longtime city employee. He had worked for the CFO's office, the deputy mayor's office, and during his tenure with the city was responsible for probably $5 billion in various city revenue financings. Unfortunately, Michael, who was a very critical and valuable member of our team, passed away in 2009. And we thought it would be fitting to dedicate this building, as we did a few months ago, to Michael Hodge. Therefore, this is now the Hodge on 7th. And if you'll notice on the wall here is a plaque commemorating that dedication. There are very, very many people to thank, and I'm going to leave it to Buwa, who will speak a little later, to talk about some of the people in the DC agencies that helped us. On the entire project, of course, the Deputy Mayor's Office was critical, and I see a number of people from the Deputy Mayor's Office here today. The building was actually designed by 2 different architects. The architect for the project, Shalom Baranis and Associates, made this probably the prettiest of all the buildings in the complex. They did the design of the exterior. And through Buwa, we brought in Minor Feinstein architects who came up with a way for us to increase the number of units. We had planned on building 80. We built 90 through their clever design and utilization of space. The building is being constructed by Clark Construction, and Roadside has a great team of Brian Corcoran and Abdullah Osman, and we have Sean from Clark here, I think. The building will be managed by Bizzuto Management, and I understand that we're leasing up at quite a rapid pace, and we're very thankful for that. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce this morning Mayor Vincent Gray. Mayor Gray has always been a very staunch supporter of the project. He's attended our many groundbreakings and commemorations and ribbon cuttings, and he's here today to help us get started. Mayor Gray.
Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone. I am really delighted to be here. You're absolutely right, Armond. I have attended a number of groundbreakings. I never forget sitting out here one day in about 95-degree weather. We sat there for an hour and a half, only to realize that it was a charade. It had nothing to do with Roadside, by the way. It was just a situation that I will say had political overtones associated with it. And I vowed when I got elected that we were going to work with Roadside, with Richard and Todd and Buwa and Armond, to be able to move this incredibly worthy project forward. And of course, we joined hands with Shaw Main Streets as well, with Alex Padro and his compatriots. And now you look at what they've been able to do with this project, and it's absolutely nothing short of fantastic. We are virtually, literally, at the center of the city. And of course, there is a city center down the street, but you're pretty close to the center right here. And I think to those who have wanted to see a renaissance in the District of Columbia, imagine the hope that this sends to those folks who have wanted to see a transformation take place in the District of Columbia. But I think we also need to recognize, too, that as this transformation takes place and we celebrate, there are a lot of people who are really deeply anxious, who are very afraid of what the future holds for them. We have seen over the last decade some 40,000 people leave the District of Columbia. We don't know all the reasons why they left, and there are multiple reasons, but we know that affordability certainly has been one of the factors associated with that. And that's why, as you look at what's happened here at the market at O Street, I really applaud Roadside Development for having the foresight, for having the tenacity, and for having the compassion to be able to reach out and make sure we send a powerful message to people that as this city continues to grow and develop, we're not going to be accused of running people out of the District of Columbia. And if you don't think people are afraid, you go over on Kennedy Playground and some of the streets around here and just talk to some of the folks about their fears. But those fears tend to be ameliorated to some extent when they see something like this happen. And I'm glad it wasn't just 80 units, that it turned out to be 90 units, because this is what we can do all across the city in order to make sure that this continues to be a place where people who want to live here will have a chance to live here. I'm a native Washingtonian, and I grew up in very modest surroundings. My parents never went to high school. They were good people, hardworking people, and we lived in a one-bedroom apartment on 6th and L Streets, Northeast. In fact, I always told people I had a mobile bedroom. What's a mobile bedroom? That's when you sleep on a rollaway bed and you fold it up in the morning and put it in the closet, because there were no walls around it. And I go back periodically and look, and it's being converted now into, looks like, condos that I think won't be affordable if my parents were still alive, or, you know, people who were able to live in there. And our job, frankly, is, and we won't be complete people unless we really work hard to make sure that we continue to make this city affordable to everybody who wants to live in the District of Columbia. Yes, we are growing by 1,100 to 1,200 people a month. We now have 647,000 people who live in the District of Columbia. There are people who want to come here now, especially because of our early childhood education programs, but there are many people who want to stay here, and we need to be able to assure them that there will be a place for them in what is the continually rapidly changing District of Columbia. Now, in addition to making this building, last time I was here was a shell, and boy, what a phenomenal, isn't this a great place now? How about a big hand for what's been done with this building? You know, in addition to the building itself, to be able to, and I commend Roadside for making that decision. I was here when the announcement was made. I'm glad to be back now with the dedication. To be able to honor someone like Michael Hodge, who I actually knew. What a phenomenal statement to make. This was a man who lots of people in the city will never have known. He just worked hard every day in the financial arena to try to make sure that resources were brought to bear on projects that otherwise wouldn't happen. When I was in the nonprofit sector, I was a recipient of an industrial revenue bond that Michael and his colleagues were able to make available. He was a hardworking, very intelligent man who cared deeply about what he did every day. And you know, it's kind of hard to say, you know, somebody really deeply cares when what they're working with is enormously large pieces of paper, stacks of paper, to be able to move a bond transaction forward. So I'm glad we can be here today to dedicate this building to Michael Hodge. I'm glad to be a part of it. And we need to continue, ladies and gentlemen, working hard to make sure that while we celebrate the increasing population in the city, that we celebrate, you know, our improving educational system, that we celebrate our increasing financial wherewithal, that we don't do it at the sacrifice of those people who otherwise couldn't afford to live in the District of Columbia. So the 90 people who live here and will live here, I want to congratulate you. We are putting into affordable housing, and I know you know this, Armond and Richard, we are putting into affordable housing this year $187 million. And we have in this year's budget a request for another $100 million, which will bring to almost $300 million our investment in trying to keep housing affordable for people who want to be in the District of Columbia. We've made a commitment that by 2020 we will have 10,000 new units of housing. And not only are we on course to do that, but the current trajectory says we will have 12,000 new units of affordable housing in the District of Columbia. And the day that we can say that there is nobody who is leaving the District of Columbia who wants to be here, that's the day that we can say we have really arrived as a city. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mayor Gray. I look out and I see that there are a number of residents or future residents of the building with us today. And we thought it might be nice to hear from our very first resident who moved into the building, has been here now for a little over a week. I'd like to introduce Lucy Marino.
Hi, everybody. I just want to say that I moved in here about a week ago, and I'm very, very pleased with everything. The place is beautiful. The management is excellent, and I am enjoying it very, very much. Thank you.
And we are very happy to have you. Matter of fact, the lady who was the very first on our list is here, and she'll be moving in very shortly, I hope. This night? I hope so. This was a very complicated project that involved work from a lot of people. But the real, as I said earlier, mastermind behind the plan of financing that made this all work is here with us. And I'd like to introduce Buwa Binitie.
I think my wife is here. I just want her to remember those words, mastermind. So, so she... only today. Thank you all so much for being out here. As I'm sure you all know, it was literally about over a year ago that we started construction on this project. And just by show of hands, who are all the folks that are moving into the building right now, just so that people can see who you are? And this is what we, wow. So I think this is really what the mayor meant by one city, right, Mr. Mayor? This is what you meant, and I'm very, very proud that I'm able to do this alongside with my partners at Roadside, that we can help realize the mayor's vision for putting together a project like this that would help capture what is and will be one city. You know, on projects like this, unfortunately, there are a lot of people, fortunately, unfortunately, there are a lot of unsung heroes like Mr. Michael Hodge that helped put a project like this together. And it's a lot of people. And I really have to ask that you bear with me, because everyone has played a huge part in putting a project like this together. Obviously, first off, you know, the mayor for selecting the right leadership in various district agencies that also have the creativity to allow us to go crazy with our master planning of the finances. Obviously, I want to start. I don't see the deputy mayor here, but I see Mr. Miller and other colleagues at DEMPED who have been extremely instrumental in helping to execute the plan. I can't thank my own personal hero at DACD, Mr. Kelly, and I think my next building would probably be the Kellys or something like that. But Mr. Kelly and all of his folks at DACD, I mean, that's an agency that I don't think receives enough thanks because of all the hard work that they're doing. I mean, whether it's 10,000 units or 20,000 units, they're still going to be there day in, day out. And I got to tell you, you have folks that are working weekends to make it happen. This is a tax credit project with taxes and bonds. So there would be no bonds, as I'm constantly reminded, without HFA's, DC Housing Finance Agency's involvement. The leader of that agency, Ms. Maria De Marshall, I know she's here. Could you please wave your hands so everybody knows that you are indeed the mastermind at HFA. And I know other of your colleagues are here as well. Obviously, Tony Waddell, Deborah Bonner, Mr. Winter, Tracy Parker, Ed Pauls, Allison Ladd, Patience, and others from HFA is here as well. So please, thank you so much if I don't say it enough. Of course, there can be no tax credits without there can be no bonds without equity. And Chris McGraw, our investor at Wells Fargo, is joined here. He just flew in from North Carolina to make sure his investments are actually indeed yielding something. So thank you for trekking it out. I know Brett McLeod is here, our lender, who again is to make sure that we end up paying his mortgage. Where's Brett? Brett, please wave your hand, let everyone know. Thank you so much. JP Morgan Chase in the house. Let's talk about the beauty of the project. And again, I think Armond said it best. You know, the good folks at Shalom Burners, yes, they do know how to design. There's no question about that. But, I mean, to walk into a lobby like this, and very soon you all will get to see the model unit, and you'll get to understand why such firms that are locally based, we want to continue to work with to help realize our vision. So, Mr. Sponzella, Andrew Taylor, Juan, Martha, and our good friends at Minor Feinstein as well. Thank you. Obviously, you can't design it without a good builder. And I don't know about you all, but I'm a big believer in Clark Construction. I mean, they've done some amazing stuff, including delivering this building at record time. So Greg, Sean, David, Alex, and the rest of the clock team, thank you very much for working day and night and weekends to bring this project to fruition. You know, a couple of tidbits for you all. We've had over 500 people sign up to be part of this building, and I wish we had 500 units to accommodate over everybody. But as of today, we are, I believe, over 50% leased up. And the reason why we're able to track and keep everyone in mind is because of our very, very good folks at Buzzuto Management. Shani, Beverly, Diana, Erin, they've worked tirelessly over the last several weeks to basically manage all of that monsoon that have been coming into the doors. And thank you all so much. And I expect us to be fully leased up by in the next couple of days, hopefully. You know, I know a lot of folks. I know Armond has been very, very kind to me today. But the truth is, I would not be here today, but for Roadside. You know, Richard, Armond, and Todd, and everyone at Roadside, from Mike Follen to Brian to Abdullah to Susan, they welcomed me into their office. I mean, they allowed me to go crazy, and that's when I knew they were just as crazy as I am as well. But I really, really have to thank them for their patience and their willingness to take a risk with us. And thank you so much. And you know, another project, next project, please remember my number. I'm happy to work with you any time of the day. Obviously, my DP team, the folks at Dantes Partners, Corey, I see Corey, raise your hand, where's Kofi? And Adora, thank you all so much for your patience and bearing with us to make this project happen. You know, we have a lot of lawyers. You know, those are the ones who get really paid on this project. So Deborah, she's on the scene. I know Terrace Callan is on the scene as well. Kent Newman is in the building. You know, and the good folks at Reno Carbonar. And the folks who help put the beautiful event like this together, Brandlink. I see they're in the house. You don't really see them because they always like hiding in the backgrounds, but they're here, trust me. And our good friends at Emmaus, looking forward to working with you all. And obviously, Mr. Alex Padro, thank you for your continued support on this project. So if I did not call you out, please harass me afterwards or now. Just raise your hand so that way I can give you a shout. But thank you to everybody that made this project happen. And, you know, we have a model unit open, so please come check it out. Come see your hard-earned tax dollars at work upstairs. And thank you all again for making it out here. Appreciate it.